welcome back to my channel. My name is BSc Midwifery. As I said in the other video, today I have a guest on my channel. Her name is Victoria. She has 3 nursing registrations: nurse, midwife, health visitor. If you're new to my channel, I'm BSc Midwifery and I give tips and advice to overseas nurses or any nurse in the UK thinking of professional development. So today is going to be professional development from nursing into midwifery. Victoria is going to talk to us about her experience. There are several ways to become a midwife in the UK. One of them is if you're an overseas nurse and you want to relocate as a midwife, you have to go through the NMC registration process in order to get into midwifery in the UK. If you are a registered nurse in the UK already and you want to become a midwife, there are several other ways. Victoria is going to talk about her experience. So if that sounds exciting to you, why not watch the video to the end? So can you please introduce yourself to Victoria?
I'm Victoria Seydu once again, and yes, I have 3 registrations. I've been a nurse. I worked with Becky as a nurse at the renal unit. I trained, I came straight from Ghana, trained in the UK, and started working as a renal nurse. That's where I came into contact with Becky. We worked there together for years. I worked there for about 3 years, I think 3 to 4 years, and then I left to midwifery, and then did a 1.5 year training to be a midwife with my 3 children at that time. Yes, 3 children under the age of 3. So it was difficult to consolidate 3-year course into 1.5 years. But this I did it, and then I worked as a midwife for about almost 10 years before I left. Yes, and to health visiting.
Okay, so at your time, so if someone is a nurse and wants to become a midwife, yes, we know there are several other ways, so we'll talk about your experience. So how do you become, or did you become a midwife? Or if someone band 5 wants to become a midwife, what would be your guide from your experience?
A lot has changed. Obviously I did this course about over how many years ago? I would say 2007 thereabouts. About another over 14 years ago. Quite a long time ago.
That's right.
And so a lot has changed. And as we say, with nursing, a lot is directed by the government. And a lot of policies change as we go along. But I did my course. It was a 1.5 year course. And the time I did it, there used to be a body. It was like an NHS body that it sort of sponsored help nurses to do it. So you had to apply to that body, and then they will fund you to do the course. So you are not attached to a particular hospital per se. It is more of the coffers of the development part of the NHS that will give you that money to do it, and they will pay you your salary, and you'll be working as a full-time nurse. So you're supposed to do, when you are in practice, supposed to do 37.5 hours and work like a full-time nurse, not less. And if you are in school, you do it. It's mostly entails being in school and doing some lectures, and then you have placement time where you go into the placement and do it. Your placement could be in the community, it could be in the hospital delivery suite, it could be anywhere else, where they want you to go, really. Yes, basically that's how it is. Or you could do a direct entry in. A direct entry you can do for 3 years and get your degree. Some universities are now doing 4 years. Some universities that I've just started, I know of, even in Leicester, are doing 4 years, but you finish it with another sort of degree on the side. And then you have apparently different universities do different things. So at the moment, the ones that I know of in Leicester is the ones that are pre-registration, go in and do it. But it's now gone for 2 years because of the way the course is tense. It's quite intense, and you have to finish and write a dissertation, a 12,000 word dissertation as well. So it is quite intense, within a short time to consolidate it all. So they've increased the the training time to 2
For
years
some
now.
units.
Yes.
Some are
Yeah.
still offering, I think, the 18 months. But
Okay.
as you said, things
Yeah.
are different in
Very
each
different
university.
in every university.
Yeah.
So it depends on which university you go to. As
Yeah.
at the moment, I do not know how you will
Physically.
apply for it. If you do your nursing and you are going into it, it might be NHS
jobs.
England
Okay.
or NHS jobs,
Yeah.
depending on a particular place wanting to do it for you.
Yeah.
A lot of students are now paying fees as well, so I don't
exactly.
know how that will affect you if you've just come in
Yeah.
and you're not a citizen of the
Yeah,
country,
that's right.
whether you will easily get in, because
Yeah.
I had to get in because I was a citizen at
the
that
time, yeah.
Yes. But you can't. It is difficult to just go
And then
just go
change.
in. Midwifery is one of the very niche places where they are very particular about whether you have your papers all right or you don't have your papers, and they're very, very particular about that. So
Yeah, you're right.
when you come in, you have to have a good look at
Yeah.
the ways to do it.
Yeah.
You might have to work here for a bit of time.
Or get your indefinite
Yes,
leave
get
to
your
remain.
indefinite relief before they will sponsor you to
That's
do something
right.
like that.
That's right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, and when people finish the midwifery, whether it's the BSc or whatever, post-registration
yeah.
BSc or
Yeah.
whatever they do. So with midwifery as well, your band is 6. They go to band 6, isn't it?
Well, it depends on your qualification again. If you finished as a post-registration, then it might be band 6. It depends on what the place is telling you to apply for.
Okay.
Because as at the time we were doing it, every post-registration person was going to a band 6
Yeah.
when you finish.
Yeah.
But it's subject to signing off your competences.
Yeah.
You have to sign off every competence, and there are quite a few to sign.
A lot.
So, and you have to work for some time to be able to sign them all off, because you have to have that many women
Yeah.
to either suture for them to assess you before you can sign yourself off. So until you sign off those competences, you are not getting your band 6 pay. The good thing at that time was they will backdate your pay from the time you started, or the time you signed off. They will backdate it. That was what was good about it. As at now, I don't really know how they will do it. But if you finished straight away a 3-year course, you entered it and did a degree for a 3-year course and entered, you will come in as a band 5 first.
Oh, okay.
You don't come in straight as a band
Okay.
6. You come in
Okay.
as a band 5,
Yeah.
and you work for some time, and then you sign your competences
become a
before
6.
they will move you up to band
Okay.
6. Yeah.
Okay. So, in general, in the UK, midwives, what do they do? I know it's a lot, so just a bit of what.
Midwifery is quite straightforward, more than a
Okay.
health setting, because with midwifery, it's midwifery. You're looking after women antenatally, during the delivery, postnatally, and then as added on responsibilities, you might learn how to scrub, and then help in theatre. You will learn how to recover patients after they've gone into surgery and had a cesarean section and come out. Or you might have to do things like all the other things, suturing and all that are all, or mentoring and all those kind of things are all added on things. But when you go in, the main thing is to do antenatal. Antenatal could be in the hospital when they come in and they're admitted at the hospital, usually high-risk women, problems with either baby not moving, or they can't hear heartbeat, or mother's got diabetes, or mom has got hypertension, or something. It's always something in the hospital with antenatals. We don't usually just see a normal, healthy antenatal woman come into the hospital. But in the community, you see antenatals, normal antenatals who come in for their normal checks. You do their test, their blood test, and that's it, and then they're gone. And then in the community, you do the postnatal care as well. When they've delivered in the hospital and gone back home, you go in the first day, after they've gone back home from the hospital, when we check the baby and make sure the baby's weight. Then we go in the 5th day, and then you weigh the baby to make sure that the baby has not lost too much weight. It's normal for a baby to lose a bit of weight after birth, but we don't want them to lose more than 10% of their birth weight.
Okay.
So on the 5th day, we do measure to make sure the baby is within that 10% weight loss. Some babies don't lose, but a lot of babies are expected to lose, but we don't want it more than 10%. And then on the 10th day, they will check the baby again, and then they would discharge the baby. I know a lot is changing now because they're very short-staffed. So at the moment, they don't see the baby the first day after they come home. They'll see on the 5th day where they do the heel prick test and they weigh the baby. And then now, the 10th day, they don't go home. They let them come to the hospital to see them, and then they will discharge. They will discharge them there. So it is getting a little bit more because things are changing as we go along. But you will do that, and then we have the home birth team now. Before the community nurses used to do the home birth, be called in. They used to have people on duty who will be called in if there's a home delivery or somebody's delivering at home. However, they've now formed a home birth team. And the home birth team is in charge for all the women who really want to have their babies at home. So you will register with them from day one, and they will look after you throughout your whole pregnancy to the time you deliver your baby. If there are problems, the ambulances are there. They will take you into the hospital and then sort it out. So that's mainly. However, there are other aspects of midwifery. You have the register. You could be a teenage pregnancy a midwife specialist. Could be a safeguarding midwife. You could be what do they call it? The debriefing one. Those who have had traumatic births and things like that. You could be
breastfeeding.
A breastfeeding specialist nurse. You could be or somebody deal with postnatal depression. Mostly those with mental health. But anyway, they deal with women with mental health issues who have had their babies. And then we do have in the hospital the high risk nurses who are there, and they'll do the scans and deal with women who have lost babies and all sort of things. So there are so many specialities, but obviously your basis will have to be a midwife first before you get into that bit.
Okay. So a lot of monitoring as well, especially in hospital.
Well, in hospital, you're going in because there are concerns with you and the baby. So the basic things will be to monitor you and take your blood pressure every 4 hours, and then do your blood sugars. If you have diabetes, monitor your baby on the CTG. So those are high-risk women mostly in there. Yes, and then we look after.
So what hours do midwives do? Hospital-based?
Right.
Or community-based?
Right. In the hospital, they are now, as at the time I had my last born, and she was now 12 years, they were having 12-hour shifts, and they're still running 12-hour shifts. So you have 7 till, supposed to be 7 in the morning, but you never leave there at 7. Right? And then you have from 7 in the evening, obviously till next day 7 o'clock. Thing about midwifery is you cannot leave when you are in the middle of a delivery.
That's right.
So even though you finish at 7, sometimes you might not leave there at 7. That's the only downside of it.
That's right.
Really. In the community, they are still supposed to be working 9 to 5. But I know that the hours keep changing. They did them for 12 hours. It didn't work, and at the moment they are now doing the 9 to 5, and those with home births do more of shifts, 12-hour shifts, so they can cover the mothers all the time and that sort of thing.
Right. Wow, that's interesting. So,
but every area in the UK has different ways of working. So what is in Leicester might not necessarily be what is in London. And that's one thing to take note of.
And finally, if someone is considering changing career from nursing into midwifery, what would be your advice?
Well, as any other job, as I said, the basis is nursing, obviously. It's good to be a nurse, to be a midwife, because then you have a lot of background knowledge when it comes to caring for the patient. You can tell the difference between registered nurses
who have
being
become,
midwives to those who have just entered as midwives. It's a very vast difference. So it is definitely something that is doable. It is more strict in the application of it because they are more strict about it. I know when we came into this country, you could not come in straight away as an African or outsider to come and train as a midwife. You won't be taken in straight as a midwife.
Days.
No, they don't. They were happy to take you as an adult nurse, but children's nurse and midwifery, no, you don't go in.
Yeah.
So the only way we could go in was through being a nurse already, and then apply for it that way.
Yeah.
That's how we did it. Being a
Midwife
midwife
back home.
at home, and you are coming here to work, they are happy to take you for an adaptation because they know you have a lot of experience. So it's always better, obviously, if you came in as a nurse and then
You get your indefinite leave to
get your
remain.
indefinite leave, then you apply for it.
That's
Then
right.
you go for it. Yes.
Yeah. That's great. So she said, as you heard, it's doable. She did all these courses while she has little children. So you have no excuse. So far as you can, manage your childcare issues as well. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to write that in a comment. If I can't answer, I would ask Victoria. Thank you for having me in your house, and thank you for your time, and I hope you've enjoyed this. Take care, and bye-bye.
Bye.
I'll get her again for more things about when you're pregnant in the UK, what you would expect and all that, so you'll be expecting more from us. Anyway, take care, bye-bye.